The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. Between science and ignorance, there is filler.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Paranormal Filler for April 10th, 2016. Despite what some of my banners said that I put on Twitter this week, it is actually April. My first word to the universe is winter, go home, you're drunk. Can you all believe what's been going on around this country? God, I was digging out shorts 2 weeks ago. I was digging out shorts that are probably too short and out of style because I'm a child of the 80s. That being said, the point is, I'm ready for warm weather. It destroys my mood. It makes parts of my body ache worse than they normally do. And so anyway, it is what it is. My guest tonight is Sunny Rosario. She is the Denver psychic, and she's already on the line. You've heard her chuckling in the background. Paranormal Filler. Paranormal Filler is brought to you every week by LiveParanormal.com, your interactive paranormal social community, and is sponsored by Ken Boggle's House of Cards, TarotByKen.com. And tonight we introduce to the Paranormal Filler audience his new commercial, which I want to put my disclaimer out there. I read this script verbatim. It is a little turn of mood for the Ken Boggle commercial compared to what we normally do. So, I do want to remind everybody tonight, I am monitoring the chat room. If you're listening live, I am monitoring the chat room at liveparanormal.com. The reason I bring that up more so than usual, if you have a question that you want to ask Sunny tonight, or more to the point, ask your favorite dead celebrity. The chat room will be what I'll be trying to watch the first hour, and so you might just get your questions answered. So everybody, tune in, listen in, stick around. We got a 2-hour show tonight. 2-hour show, and it'll be a fun one.
Paranormal Filler.
Sunny, welcome to the show.
Hey, yeah, you caught me giggling. That's for sure.
I'm actually, and
I think
everybody, pardon me a moment. I'm trying. There you go. My laptop crapped out that I do a couple of the broadcast feeds with, a couple of the syndicated feeds. It just crapped out, and I had to get it going again right at the beginning of the show. But that is the lovely, the excitement of doing live radio.
Yeah, you know what? And I think we're long overdue for like a real casual night. You know, I was listening to the intro music and the between science and pop culture is paranormal. It's always so serious. You know, we're always so serious. And it's important because, you know, we're talking about the spirit world and things that are kind of controversial sometimes, and they touch on people's, you know, deep, deep beliefs. But sometimes I think we just need to take a deep breath, you know, take a step back, not take ourselves too seriously, and have a little fun with it. So that's kind of the idea for the show tonight, wouldn't you say?
I'd say that's damn near the idea for my show every week.
It's been a long winter, like you said. That's why I couldn't stop laughing, because you said winter was drunk, and the same thing is happening here. I'm looking out the window and it looks like it's going to snow, and it was 80 degrees this morning. So, after this kind of, torment by nature, I think we're long overdue for like spring break live on the radio.
Now, somebody wants to actually book me to go to Florida and cover spring break in Florida. I am available. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there.
Oh, my God. What does Anita have to say about that? Do we have the official word from the boss with the sauce about whether that's a permissible activity for a host such as yourself?
She doesn't worry about such things. I am in the best analogy for me is I'm like that really good watchdog that that you know that he's going to bark his head off, but when it gets right down to it, pet him on the head, rub his tummy, and he's done for the night. That's
Well, in Hollywood, they'd call you a silver fox. You'd be in the prime of your career. You guys have it easy in Hollywood. The older you get and the more gray hair you have in your beard, apparently the sexier you are. So I think she should worry.
I will say that I'm getting a following of adult women.
Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome.
That's sweet. That's what
flattering.
You tell your grandfather when he flirts with the waitress.
Well, I agree. I've absorbed large doses of your energy over the years on these shows and on Twitter, and I agree. You are harmless. You're totally harmless. So you're right. There's no real threat there, but
Well, quit absorbing my energy. I don't have any energy to give up. Winter, I am so looking for. I am a sun person. I absorb energy from
Me
the
too.
sun. I'm convinced.
Me too.
Everybody tells me I was reincarnated from this and that and the other, but I think I was a plant. I just really think I was a house plant.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? I would love to be a dog. I just love, and I was actually going to ask you, have you ever had like an animal? Because I'm trying to find all kinds of things we haven't done before on, psychic YouTube and psychic radio. Have you ever done like an animal psychic show before?
Oh God, yes. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I've done two of them. One of them, and the reason I did the first one, okay, here's my thing on animal psychics. It's not, I never wanted to attribute an actual, what we would call a soul to an animal. And the reason is because I don't want to, it's hard for me to calculate, okay, how far down the food chain does that go? Am I going, am I going to burn in hell because I like, Kentucky Fried Chicken? Well,
that's not really chicken anymore, so you don't have to feel bad. That's the one thing that even like vegans should eat KFC because it's technically not a chicken. It's just like a body with no legs and no head. That definitely doesn't have a soul. So I think you're off the hook with KFC.
Okay, well, then I'm also a big... I have a beef in my freezer. There, I said it. And that one was fresh. I know where that one came from. It may not have had a name, but it damn well had a tag number in his ear. But the reason, anyway, going back to how we got started on that, there was a pet psychic, Carrie Kennedy, at the Mystic Paranormal Fair in Lexington, and I just decided she was very nice and everything, and so she's told us how she just needed a picture, and I had a picture on my cell phone of a dog that we had lost, and she was the only psychic that ever made me cry. I've been to a lot of psychics. I've gotten a lot of psychic readings, some good, some bad. Some were cold as an ice cube, and others they were just so on the money that it was really scary. But I'm going to tell you, that woman knew things and brought out things that
really,
yeah. And I mean it. So and then in the meantime, I want to say Rob Guthrow, I forget his last name. Wrote a book about it. He's a little different. He can only talk to the live ones. He can't talk to the dead ones, is my understanding.
Right.
No, it's the other way around.
Right.
Maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, he was fun. So yeah, I do give pet psychics some credence. I have had them on the show, but once again, no one's been able to answer the question for me, because Carrie says she's talked to a spider before, and
see, and I really believe people when they feel that they've had like some kind of conversation with maybe a tree, but you feel like compelled to hug the tree and soak up the energy of that tree. And as far as like, that good feeling you get from nature, I get that. But I personally neither have ever had a conversation with a tree. And even with animals, it's so simple. It's very simple, sparse communication.
Yeah. Well, she said on the spider, she said basically the spider gave her, she got, why am I here? And of course, first thing that runs through my mind after the rest of the conversation was, oh my God, that's a very esoteric thing for a spider to ask. And no, she meant why am I here now, this spot in your bathtub or wherever the hell it was. And
what are we talking about specifically?
Yeah.
Well.
So anyway, but I've decided that. Although, like some psych, I have long ago, not one that I spoke to, but she said she actually went to a slaughterhouse, and everybody, my God, But she said they understand that they understand they are part of the food chain. And plus they know that this is just one little thing, one little stage in life. This is
Right.
Whatever happens today, okay, then the next carcass I get to come back is, a better animal, worse animal. And I'm convinced that one of my dogs that I had years ago, his next, I believe he was waiting for a human body next trip up because he was smarter than most of the people that I know.
Wow. Well, like I said, that's how we ended up in this silly conversation. Is if I had a choice, I don't think I'd want to rest because I'm not ready to completely, rest. I love Earth, but I would love to be a dog. I think being a dog would be amazing. That would be good. That'd be a good life.
Well, but if I could be one of my dogs, some of them don't have it so good, but mine.
No.
Of course, see, our problem is we treat our animals so good. We have recycled pets now. I'm convinced that 90% of the animals that wander about the Forsyth household have been here once or twice before. and they just say, well, pretty good spot, I'm coming back. And because
so cool.
So it is. It's
well, what's interesting about the work that we do, and this being kind of like I guess we could call it work because it's important, but we get to see the different side of life with literally everything. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, when I look at TMZ, I think it's a very different experience than it is for other people, because I feel like not all of them, but some people just vibrate on such a high level, and I'm sure you know this because it's no secret that you're kind of a flaming sensitive yourself. Some people vibrate just at such a high level that I can't help but get personal information off of them. You know what I mean? I've always said it, the energy of human beings is so much more difficult for me to deal with and manage psychically than the energy of spirits, So it's fun. I get the inside track on a lot of this stuff. And that's actually, kind of how we ended up in this conversation. I think you tweeted something about the death of a man in it's the Haunted Mansion, right, in Paris? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I had retweeted. The Haunted Librarian is always throwing out little news snippets, and
right,
and one of hers was that they found a corpse in the Haunted Mansion, and then
wow,
and then you came in and said that Walt Disney took you on a tour, and
well, I always feel like I'm putting myself on blast on this show because I don't know what it is, but the last time I had a couple beers, came on, told you guys what I really feel about aliens, and then I hung up the phone and I thought, holy crap, what did I just say? And now again, I'm about to tell a story that I haven't told very many people this one. I had an experience at the Haunted Mansion. I actually had an experience also at the Pirates of the Caribbean. And that doesn't involve Walt Disney, but basically, I went to Disneyland and had experiences in both of these places. I travel a lot. I've been to Las Vegas. I've had some really profound experiences in Las Vegas. And the thing is that I'm not the only person. You know how when you experience something and you're not quite ready to ask someone about it, you're just like, thank God for the internet, because when we have these private thoughts, we can get on and Google, did anybody else see Michael Jackson in their hotel room? And when you actually get a hit, it's amazing. You feel like, oh, good, maybe I'm not crazy. Or maybe me and this guy are both crazy. I'm still not too sure. Because it's sort of, a couple of these things that I've experienced are so mind-blowing that I sometimes don't believe in myself. So we're going to talk a lot about those experiences and places that anybody can go. And I think that even if you're like a regular person who doesn't consider themselves to be psychic, the energy of people like Walt Disney, Elvis, Michael Jackson is so much, it's larger than life when they were here, and they're just human beings. So to me, it's perfectly reasonable that we run into these other human beings who just happen to be extremely famous. And so I'm definitely not the only person who's had these experiences. And I would challenge or invite anybody else to go and see what they see in some of these places. Have you ever had any, psychic experiences with a celebrity?
No, I barely have psychic experiences with anybody.
That's because you're playing small. I've got you figured out.
Well, when I go into a haunted location, I guess you could say, in a way, some psychics would tell you I'm lucky because I have to turn my gift on.
You're very lucky.
It just doesn't happen. Now, of course, sometimes it's harder. The switch gets stuck a little bit, and it's a little harder to turn on.
Well, I'm going to have to stop you. Hang on, I'm going to stop you there because I was actually thinking of this just a minute ago. When we first started doing shows together, I feel like you were blocking. You would always block me, and it drove me nuts because you were so good at it, and you were one of the few people that can keep me out. And I was very impressed by that. But these days, I feel like this has been probably 2 or 3 years since I first started talking to you on Twitter and on the radio, and you are so much more open and so much more. And it's not even like I'm poking around in your energy. I just don't feel that wall like I used to with you. I feel like you're more comfortable with it all, and it translates. I feel more comfortable even talking to you about all this stuff because I feel like you used to be kind of walled off.
Well, it was a conscious effort on my part because that was
right. Yeah, I know.
I knew to experience things in the metaphysical side of the field, behind the veil. I knew that if I was going to experience those things fully, that I had to relax,
let the walls come down.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you that I can slam them suckers shut just as hard as I want to. That's actually an exercise.
Jealous.
It's actually an exercise. That's one thing I can teach people who say that they're sensitive and they're worried about using their gifts. I can teach someone how to block. Now, as far as how to open up, now that's another story. I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple commercials in here, and then we'll be right back. My guest on Paranormal Filler tonight is Sonny Rosario, and we're going to be talking celebrity psychics.
Lockdown 2016 at the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. June 19th. Join Paul Bradford, Brian Cano, Christopher St. Booth, Deb and Nick Lance, Chris Debin, myself, and many more icons of the paranormal field. Enjoy a celebrity meet and greet, an investigation of the entire prison, including areas that are normally not open to the public. There's even a magic show by illusionist Reed Masterson of Impossible Magic. All this and a late-night meal with the celebrity guest. The proceeds from this event benefit Unity, a Journey of Hope, a charity that grants wishes
to adults with life-limiting illnesses. Purchase your tickets now at lockdown2016.eventbrite.com or visit Unity, a journey of hope.org to learn more. Unity, a journey of hope, changing lives one wish at a time. Do you have a tale trying to crawl out of your brain and splatter itself on a page? Do you have a tale of terror? A new horror tale worth telling around the campfire? Or a poem celebrating the grotesque underbelly of the psyche? Then Scarefest invites you to submit your work for consideration in the inaugural edition of the Scarefest literary journal, Blood Types. You can find more information at scarefestradio.com. Just follow the Blood Types link. But don't wait. The deadline for submission is June 30th. Blood Types, the Scarefest literary journal. Available at the Scarefest, September 30th through October 2nd, Lexington, Kentucky. And welcome back to Paranormal Filler. I am your host, Wes Forsythe. My guest is Sonny Rosario. And everyone, my Twitter followers, if you didn't catch it, my submission for Blood Types, the Scarefest Literary Journal, is almost finished.
Wow.
Yeah. I wrote the Paranormal I can't even say it. The Paranormal Filler Guide to Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse.
That's awesome.
Well, we'll find out how awesome it is. It hasn't been accepted yet. I'm about to...
You know what, I just said today how everybody over 30 is going to survive zombie apocalypse because we still have skills. You know what I mean? My son, he's 17, he would be zombie meat right away. So I'm going to order... I need that story. I need you to send me that.
The only part that I'm worried about for my own safety is I've reached that stage in life where I'm not sure I can outrun the guy next to me. So that's so I do my survival is based on staying the hell out of the way versus actually outrunning them. So anyway, back to the psychic stuff. So yeah, I have tried to open up. I try to, and it's an ongoing process. Like I try to get messages in my dreams. Really, about the only thing I can really do now on demand is if I really need a message from the other side, I can go into what I believe is normally called theta, which means basically everybody means I go about half asleep. But and anything that I need. But even that, now like things that used to not happen to me. Like I was going on one case last year, and one of the ghosts visited me beforehand. And basically I think the
wow, that happens to me a lot.
Well, yeah, it happens to you a lot. It used to, because I live but they still don't come, they don't dare come in my house. But this one actually...
you're better at blocking than I am.
Just basically caught me out on the farm. And the message that I got from it was, please don't come in guns a-blazing. I'm just a little old lady having panic attacks. And
oh, that's awesome.
But, what it was, I was out on the farm and I got a panic attack. And I'm like, wait.
Really?
And I said, wait a minute, why am I having a panic attack? I mean, I'm not saying my life is peachy, but I'm nothing to panic over. And as soon as I recognized it as not being my own, then everything kind of fell into place. But so that process of opening, I've worked on it. But now, like we were down at Gatlinburg a few years ago, and I really tried to open up, and I started feeling and seeing some of the residents. At least that was my perception, of the place. But now, as far as just, walking through Walmart and having a dead celebrity walk up to me or a ghost or anything, no, doesn't happen.
That's what I love about some of these locations because, like I said, we've got everything for our listeners tonight. We're going to talk about locations where a lot of people, not just me, have had sightings. and just experiences with people. We're going to do like a little celebrity news report where we dig into some of the current fun, juicy celebrity issues, and I give you my take on it. And the reason we posted that question earlier this week, who is your favorite dead celebrity, is because we really wanted to kind of cover the gamut. Because, the celebrities that I think are interesting right now are definitely not are going to appeal to everybody. So we've got WWE news. Okay, I've got a prediction for you there. I've got Walking Dead news. Now that you bring up zombies, I'm going to go way out on a limb and tell you who I think died. And then I'm also going to tell you what I think is going to happen in the next season of Walking Dead and how that's going to relate to Fear, The Walking Dead, and then the one that we have going on up in the sky. What is that called? Do you watch Walking Dead? Are you a Walking Dead guy?
Oh, yeah, and then Fear of the Walking Dead.
Well, no, is Fear of the Walking Dead the one, is that part of the one that's in the airplane?
Yeah, that's the one that had a bunch of stuff on the airplane. I haven't seen that season yet, so no spoilers for me.
Okay, I won't, oh. Did you watch the last episode of Walking Dead?
Oh, yeah, no, I DVR that.
Okay,
See,
good.
That's why I have no listeners on Sunday night, is because AMC throws all the good shit up against me on Sunday night.
Yeah, that was my goal. I said, if we're going to go up against Walking Dead and now the new Fear of the Walking Dead, it's going to have to be good. We're going to have to really, like, try this week.
Okay, now, before...
Can't phone this in.
I have a serious question, although I never frame my question seriously.
Sure.
While we're talking about dead celebrities, in particular, this came up last, I want to say summer, when someone very important to the paranormal field was murder-suicide thing. Then it pops up.
Okay.
There is a line of thinking, and it's not just one guy. One guy is open about it, but you'll see a lot of these groups, like when Robin Williams died. Everybody
He's on
starts.
my list for tonight.
Well, that's fine, but everybody starts dialing him up on the ghost box as soon as the news comes across.
Of course,
they start doing. My serious question is, my thesis is that give the dead a little time. I don't know if there's paperwork to fill out. I don't know the process. But at the same time, I do believe in earthbound spirits, and I don't think that we need to be dialing them up before the corpse is cold, and give them and do anything to interfere with that transition into the light, so that they can be productive citizens of the universe, etc. Am I right, or is that actually the best time to call up your favorite dead celebrity?
Anybody, we're going to talk in just terms of everybody, but as well as dead celebrities. I turned down, a lady called me once and wanted me to come to the funeral home and read the person while the body was in the room. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not making this up, but she wanted me to come right there and then to the viewing and do it. And I had to turn it down. For one reason, because I couldn't get anything. I got nothing, and I usually get things right away. When you email me, I usually have a pretty good picture of what's going on. I file that away. I don't think of you for 3 weeks, and then I go. But to me, when I get nothing, it's because they're usually, in my experience, resting. And we'll just dive right in with Robin Williams because he is one of those people. I feel that he is a spirit that is inaccessible. And I actually do run into this a lot in my work, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wrong. It's just I feel like they have a rest period. A lot of them have that resting period where they don't do anything. My husband's mother is one of these people where she's only come to me like one time, and the rest of the family comes all the time. But when she leaves, it feels like she goes to a place that's much, much, much further away. And that's the only way that I can describe it. And to me, that place is a place of rest. And I think that that's where a lot of people go, especially a celebrity, like someone like Robin Williams. He had a very hard life. And I actually feel very strongly that he was deeply psychic. it's no secret that there's a lot of artists and celebrities that are extremely sensitive, and I think that's one of the things that caused his alcoholism to go out of control. And, I know it's a disease, and I know that there's various schools of thought on addiction, but, when you've got this stuff coming at you all the time, you're putting your art form out there, you're making yourself vulnerable, and then you can hear the thoughts and opinions, and you're internalizing that. You feel that. When you've had a hard life like that, why wouldn't you want to rest? I feel like they go for a siesta or a long hiatus, and then I think they get time to decide what they want to do next. That's my take over hundreds of cases, half a dozen years of doing this professionally. I really think that, but you also have the other option. I think if someone like me who is just thirsty for life and thirsty for travel and thirsty for experiences, I think that I could, if I wanted to, jump right into another body. I actually sometimes, here I go again, telling personal things. I sometimes think about, well, what am I going to do? What do I want? I'm making plans. What am I going to do when I die? And I feel like I have a choice. And I think I've kind of decided that I want to go to that rest place for a little while, and then I want to jump right back in. But my soul seems to be keenly aware of this place where I can go and get some real rest.
That actually all makes very good sense to me, because being a believer in reincarnation, and believing that in some way I have a I almost hate to use the word mission, but a purpose in life that and I'll just say it. Here is my confession to the world. I think that I really screwed it up this time around. I don't think that I have lived up to my full potential. I think that just like in claiming my psychic gifts so late in life and ignoring them so many years, I don't, now maybe that was kismet, maybe that was, what was the way things were supposed to go down, but I'm just not positive that I accomplished, in other words, this lifetime might just, on the scoreboard, might be a tie, would be the way to put it. It might be, okay, you didn't really screw things up that bad, but hey, you don't get to advance, to the next level yet. So
you're calling your life a mulligan, basically.
Yeah, the next one,
not good. I don't think that's. I have to confess, though, I feel largely the same way, and that's why I think that's part of my. I don't know, man. I feel the same way. I feel like I know exactly what the universe and the spirit guides and the psychic world wants me to do, and I feel I'm accusing you of playing small, but I know I do it myself. I love my celebrity stuff. I change my YouTube video so I can do more of everything, and I'm sure that it's a really good distraction from my, whatever mission, my mission as a light worker to help save the planet if we want to go real deep. But it's so scary, and it's hard to develop when you're an island. I feel like so many of us, if it wasn't for, you guys have heard, you're probably sick of hearing me talk about Kim Russo, but if it wasn't for Kim Russo, there's no way I ever would have uncovered any of this. And in my younger days, I did self-medicate. No, what you guys don't know is that I'm a failed musician. And that's kind of one of my reasons, the reasons for my obsession with, the TMZ and the fun celebrities and all this stuff, is because I was actually a very serious musician. I've sang with opera singers from Broadway when I was 8 or 9 years old in a production of South Pacific. I went to America's Got Talent twice. That was my life. That was my focus. But it really wasn't my calling. I never ended up doing that for a living. But I never would have ended up being a psychic medium if I couldn't put my ass on the line, reading after reading. It was just like performing. And I'll tell you the reading that I go back to when I lose my confidence, because being a good psychic professionally has to do with confidence. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So it has to do with confidence. And every time I feel like less than, or like I want to, just puke before a reading, because I'll be honest with you, that happens. I go back to this one reading, and this lady had a 40th birthday party, invited all her friends, and her friend sits down at my little table, and I go all out. You're paying me. I make a crystal ball that, lights up. I don't wear like the whole little costume, but I try to make it an experience, We're having this party, we're having a lot of fun. And this lady sits down, and I'm about to throw up because I keep hearing, you have to ask her if her horse is moving. Your horse, as in, nay, your horse is moving. And I'm like, what in the hell? No, I'm not going to say, is your horse moving? I put a lot on the line when I have to just say these crazy things that never make any sense to me. So I look this lady in the eye, I go, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry if I'm way off, but is your horse moving? And she literally screamed, and she starts to cry, and she says, that's exactly the problem, because her husband had been transferred to France, and she was a horse person, horse lover, and she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to afford the major cost of shipping this horse to France. So if I had never been willing to, go out and sing in front of thousands of people, or in front of producers for NBC, or, say, hey, I think I'm having weird thoughts and I'm either, physically ill or psychic, someone help me, then I wouldn't have been able to do any of this, none of it. And I'm still dabbling. I'm like you. I'm still dabbling in music. I like to, I love my YouTube videos. That's just like, I don't get paid for that. And it's my favorite part of my job as a psychic is the entertainment side and the education side. And, we like our pop culture, like saccharine, full of fat, and no content, no substance to it. But it's really important that we're putting ourselves out there. We're creating art. This is all about dreams and doing that thing in your life that you don't even want to tell people that you want to do it because you're playing small and you never thought it could happen. And so when you share these feelings of like frustration, like I haven't met my potential, first of all, I think it's never too late. And what's really in my face right now with my love of entertainment, my love of performing, was I had to change my channel. I was like, okay, you can't use, your failed career in singing as an excuse. I was like, if you love that so much and you love travel and you love music, change your brand and tell people, yeah, I do readings, I do this and that, but I'm about so much more. And I don't really care if I'm getting paid for it. I don't care if I'm on TMZ or not. They say those who can't teach. Well, I comment. That's as close as maybe I'll ever get to the Grammys. But like I said, if you don't put yourself out there for perhaps a stupid reason or a silly reason, you're not going to you're never going to get to the personal reason behind that deep, deep feeling that we all have. I think we all have it if we're being honest. It's just me and you are on the radio right now. We're one of the few people who are willing to just, be vulnerable and say, hey, I'm not getting everything I want yet. So we just watch celebrity news and wish and do our little radio shows and it's a work in progress.
Story of my life. Okay, let's talk about Walt Disney. We promised these people some celebrity stuff. So we got a whole nother hour, but the first hour we need to squeeze a little bit of it in. Okay, so
we can do that. We can definitely do that.
So let's talk about Walt Disney.
So
first of all, do they really have his head in a jar somewhere?
No, that's disgusting. Is that was true? You said that on Twitter, and I was like,
that's a real rumor.
I don't get the reference.
Yeah, they because he would see, but when he passed away, he was just stupid rich compared to everybody else, and they said that, and he was such a genius that he had his at his time of death, he had his head put in a Ziploc baggie and thrown in the fridge. No, hermetically. There's a word
frozen.
for it. Yeah, but frozen basically. Cybergenics.
Oh my gosh.
And
well, I watched that movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Have you watched? It's on Netflix right now. It got 5 stars, so I turned it on. It's called Walt Before Disney. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
You wouldn't want to put that guy's head in a jar. That movie annoyed the hell out of me. I watched it last night. I did my homework for the show. I was like, I want to know what other people are saying about, Walt Disney experiences. And so I watched this movie, and that guy was broke and homeless, and he ran out of money so many times. And the only thing he could tell people that fronted him, lots and lots of money was that I just have this feeling. I just know that I'm supposed to do something. And so, what if you're the next late blooming Walt Disney? You really don't know. You can't give up. And it was kind of like watching Groundhog Day twice, because I didn't feel like the movie was very well made. And they kind of made him look like a doofus and kind of a loser, because this guy, his look was horrible. The only reason that he invented the mouse, apparently, based on what this movie said, is because he went dumpster diving with this mouse friend that's the only person left that would talk to him that he didn't owe any money to, was this mouse. So anyway, it reminded me about Disneyland. And my family's from Hollywood originally. My dad was born in Hollywood, and I grew up mostly in Colorado, and we'd go back and forth every 6 months. So I kind of grew up at Disneyland. And, of course, the Haunted Mansion scares you when you're a little kid, of course, and things like pirates. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, my God, now I know why. Because the last time I went to Disneyland, we busy. I have 6 people traveling with me, crazy. I'm not working. I'm not thinking about ghosts. It's my personal time, and I take that very seriously. I'm very protective of it. So I go to Disneyland, and I walk in the main gate, and I walk down the main street, and I didn't know anything about his apartment being right on Main Street, that's where he lived. At that time, I walk in, and it's, of course, packed. It's like a Saturday, just busy Disneyland, normal day. But I have this feeling of tremendous pride. I am just beaming, and I'm like, wow. But I knew it wasn't my feeling, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to tune in more. And it's always men are on my left. I don't know why. But on my left side, I start to get hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. What do you think? And I'm just well, it's beautiful. And I start having this conversation. And I never know who it is, and I'm not going to say it didn't occur to me that it was him, but I'm also very practical. I'm very much a realist. So that's not my first thought. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Maybe it's Walt Disney. Ha, ha, ha. And so we go about our day, and then I go to the Haunted Mansion, and I'm not feeling anything. I get into the little room where they shake you and you scream, ah! And the floor drops or whatever. Nothing in there. And then you get into have you been on this ride? I'm sure you've been on this ride, right?
No, I have not. I have never been.
Oh my gosh!
I have never been to a Disney property.
Oh, well, then you're going to have to go to the Anaheim one and take your feelers, your psychic feelers, and tell me what you think. And I hope that someone else does this, because I love validation. I don't have a monopoly on any of this stuff. I'm just one of the little worker bees. Anyway, so I go in there, and so the floor drops out, and then you get in this little cart, and then it kind of drives you all the way around the ride, and things jump out, and it's kind of scary and blah, blah, blah. So I get probably about a third of the way through the ride, and I start to feel that energy again. And I was like, okay, well, this is the same person. It's very consistent. So I'm just going to see what it is. And basically, I said, what's your name? And he said, well, my name is Walt. He used only his first name. And I think because the energy that I got was kind of he knew that he's it's like saying my name is Michael Jackson. It's oh, shit. Or my name, it's Michael Jackson. I'm Michael. I was like, oh, my God. I lose my mind. So I was like, oh, thank you, thank you for your hospitality. And he kind of hovers around with me as I go through the ride a little bit more. And then he tells me, this is one of my favorites. This is my baby. This is my brainchild. He would point out little things, and I don't remember what they were. But he would say, yeah, that over there was one of the first ones. Just things like this, like kind of like tour guide things. But the feeling that stands out for me was the pride and just this monumental sense of achievement. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't know anything about his history, who he was. I didn't really understand at that time that people thought, oh, he's this genius person, And so I left there feeling like my hand to God that I had been personally, it was only probably maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes the first time that I encountered him in the main square. And then it was probably maybe 3 or 4 minutes when I was on the ride itself. And then just as quickly as you feel that energy pop in, it pops out. And so I didn't know, but I did some research later, and I guess that he has said that ride is his favorite. That and Pirates is one of his favorites. And so when I go, and I didn't know any of this, so I go, the same day I go on the Pirates ride. And I realized why that ride terrified me as a kid. Like, obviously it's a little scary when you're 8 or 9. But when you're this weird little psychic kid who's already like a cat in a dryer and scared of everything, and then you put me in that environment, it's just a recipe for disaster. So I just thought it was me being a weird little kid. But then I go there as an adult, and I've really developed my abilities. I've worked as a psychic for a long time, and I do not get good vibes in that building. I get horrible, very scary vibes in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And I know you've never been on the ride, but you go in there and you get in the boat with a lot of people. So it's not just you. I'm elbows to elbows with Nancy from Idaho and my 8-year-old. I'm not alone. I'm trying to enjoy Disneyland, and it's kind of this ride where it floats you through all these scenes, and you see like a lady trying to hit her husband over the head with like a rolling pin, and then you see drunk pirates, and but you don't really see like a murder or anything. It's not that scary. It's Disneyland. But when I go in that ride, I have horrible, horrible vibes. I feel like some very nasty human spirit is on my back the whole entire time. And what I think is really funny about Disneyland is like if they will never ever let an investigative team go in there. Don't you think? Like, it's just never going to happen. We'll never know. We'll never have.
Right.
Wouldn't it be the coolest thing ever if Zach Baggins got Walt frickin' Disney on his machine? Like, wouldn't that be just epic?
If you'd named anybody else. But yeah, I guess it would be pretty cool.
Well, he's the only guy. The only reason I bring him up is because, like, if anybody's got the juice to get in the door, it's going to be Travel Channel.
Well, you say that, but now Ghost Hunters have pulled off some pretty good
well, I want someone to get this done, people. Get this done. Because I just feel like with Disney, if you fart and it sounds like the theme song from Frozen, they're going to sue you. They protect their image like nobody's business. Don't fart to the tune of Frozen because they will sue your face off. And I just think you'll never see the inside of it. But if some paranormal investigator was able to score that, they'd be a god in my eyes. Zach Baggins, who at that point, you know what I mean?
I need to get a couple commercials in before I lose the feed for the first hour. So we're going to take just a quick commercial break. Everybody, you're listening to Paranormal Filler.
Woo-hoo.
Hello, friends. Are you exhausted with life? Resent your children? Maybe your husband is cheating on you. Get yourself a tarot reading with Ken Boggle. He can provide you with the clarity, guidance, and answers you need. That's tarotbyken.com. He makes things seem less shitty.
Once again, that was read verbatim. That was the script that I was given. All right, one more quick commercial, everybody. Paranormal filler.
Learn the method at Bobby Mackey's with Brian J. Cano. Sunday, July 24th. Learn investigating techniques, participate in experiments, and come experience Bobby Mackey's firsthand. Join Brian as he explores the infamous Bobby Mackey's music world for the first time. His method tour focuses on the process, philosophy, and execution of paranormal investigating and is suitable for novices and veterans alike. Brian's goal is to take each attendee and alter their perspectives with critical thinking, basic techniques, and logic. Event highlights will be broadcast live by me, Wes Forsyth of Paranormal Filler. Be interviewed about your experiences as they happen. For more information, go to neverstopsearching.com. That's The Method with Brian J. Cano, Sunday, July 24th.